Excited about this interview because we have a Facebook group with Mommy Knows Best, and we get so many questions, as a breastfeeding company, so many questions about like, when can baby start weaning? When can I start, feeding baby solid foods? And so this was like a perfect connection. So I can't wait to just ask you a bunch of these questions to get into everything. So kind of to get started, so what are some big signs that a baby is ready to start solid foods?
Yeah, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about this stuff too. So I'm happy to get it out there. So there's really 3 or 4 things that you want to be looking for. The 3 like primary things are, 1, just being able to sit upright. I mean, if you've had a 3-month-old, a 4-month-old, 5-month-old baby, they're kind of floppy, their heads bop around like this. You want them to be able to sit upright. It doesn't have to be for a long time. You can do the like leaning tower of Pisa move, like it's up for like, is it 5 seconds? Okay, I think we're ready before they topple over. And you want them to have enough, head and neck strength to really hold themselves upright. Feeding a baby who's not doing those things actually be a little bit dangerous and is going to require a reclined chair, which is also, sort of like in the increased choking hazard realm. So you don't want to go that direction. So being able to sit upright, hold the head properly. The other thing we like to look for is what's called reach and grab. So the ability to like reach, it could be a toy, it could be a pen, reach it, grab it. Are they bringing it to their mouth? That sort of motion. And are they doing it accurately? Because you don't want to put a baby in the high chair and then have them like kind of like poking their eye out. So the last thing, which is a little bit less important, but it's something that we like to see, is just interest. Are they watching you eat? Even if it's just for a little bit, are they expressing any kind of interest that they might want to taste of what mommy is having?
To go along with weaning, there's so many different ways to do it. So we're going to specifically talk about baby-led weaning, which is what you focus on. So tell us, what is baby-led weaning?
Yeah, and it's funny too, because I feel like everything these days has a name and a method and this and that, which is, kind of a reflection of our society and where we've come from, sort of this real swing into science and whatnot. But it's really just real food for babies. So skipping the purees, skipping the pouches, and skipping spoon feeding, most importantly, and literally handing over real food to let the babies feed independently, to self-feed. Anyone who has a 6-month-old can tell you all a 6-month-old wants to do is put things in their mouth, like mostly dangerous things you don't want them to put in their mouth. But they're really developmentally primed for self-feeding. And, I think that it was probably how babies were fed. There's not a ton of available information on this history, but I've worked with a food historian, and we kind of think this is how babies were fed before the Vitamixes and the crazy expensive blenders. And were moms mashing food? Probably, sure, but I can't imagine a mom as a farmer in the 1800s with 5 kids was making a separate fancy meal of purees that were perfectly thin for the baby. It's just not something that was even really possible. So baby-led weaning is kind of skipping over the spoon feeding and skipping over what we think is an unnecessary step in feeding babies and following the natural development curve of the baby.